Matt Riffle, and I'll be your host as Cox Cable presents the Seminole Chieftains on the Mike Snyder Show. And Coach Snyder, I tell you what, you didn't need to make it quite so exciting.
No, I mean, my heart didn't need that either, I assure you. But what a comeback that was, what a great composure are our kids, and the attitude that they kept all through the ball game. That just was a great, we call it Chieftain magic, whatever, and it was just a great effort on our kids.
Let's go back and look at some of the big plays in the game. Of course, you couldn't look at the big plays without looking at the last play of the first half. Kind of explain to people how the free kick works.
Well, the free kick says anytime that you fair catch a punt, then you have the opportunity to have a free kick, and that free kick can be kicked off of a kicking tee, and if you kick it through the uprights, then it's 3 points. And we practiced that play, especially when we had the good kickers. We'd practice that, and we just never had the opportunity to do that in 30 years of coaching. I mean, I know the rule, and I've heard about it as far as happening to other people. That's the first time I've been involved in it actually happening. But it's something we practice at times when we had those good kickers. But here's the problem: is it shouldn't have ever been kicked. And what I tried to tell the officials, they were saying there was a half a second left on the clock. Well, there's not such a thing as a half a second on the clock in a football game, because the horn is turned off. Okay, so as soon as 0:00 reads on the clock, the game is over, and that's what it read. I could not convince them of that, and then I couldn't afford to get a 15-yard penalty because that's going to put them 15 yards closer. So I just had to back off and hope he missed it, and it didn't work.
And Coach, doesn't the referee on the field have the final say about whether there's time left on the clock or not?
He should have, exactly.
He's the official timekeeper.
Exactly, but and you can, like I said, the rules, you cannot. I call it. We had a meeting with the Active Association Sunday morning to find out where we playing stuff, and that's what I asked. The guys in charge, and they said, "No, Coach, you can't have a kick when it's the clock is on 0." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that now. You need to make sure your officials know that." But You've never heard me complain about officials, but they almost cost us a ball game because the fumble, the takeaway was
let's talk a little bit about that.
There's not a takeaway, so
even if it was a takeaway, the guy's knee's down on the ground when he takes the ball.
That's what I tried to explain to him. I said he was sitting on the ground, taking the ball away from Chauncey. I said, now how can you let him get up and go score? Well, we didn't see what happened. I said, well, if you can't see what happened, you need to bring the ball back. But I couldn't, they just did a poor job on that specific, those two plays, which cost us 10 points.
And you talk about those two plays, both of those plays were the only points that Deer Creek put up on the board. And, Coach, how demoralizing was it for your team to go in after playing so great defensively? Deer Creek has one first down the whole first half, and yet you go in behind 3-0.
Well, we were a little upset offensive-wise because we couldn't sustain anything, get anything going. But, like we told our kids, we had to, before we can win a ball game, we've got to score. We were going to score some point in time. If we could just hold them to that 3, that's basically what I felt like we could do. The 3 didn't bother me too much. It was that 10 that really got me upset and kind of worried me. But in the second half, we were, we get the opening kickoff, and we're trying to get the win. So we're trying to be a little conservative, play field position, and then get the win in the fourth quarter, and knowing we have to score 1 touchdown to win the football game. Because I didn't feel like defensively that they could score on us. Our defense was playing so well. So we had to score twice instead of once.
Coach, another play that kind of stuck out in my mind, the Chieftains go down, look like they're about to score. They fumble the ball on the handoff exchange. Then Deer Creek, I guess the score was 10-7. This was later on in the game. Deer Creek has a 3rd down and 1 from the 29. Looks like we stopped the quarterback, and then he reaches the ball forward, has it swatted out of his hands, and yet they give him the forward progress and don't call the fumble.
Exactly. That was another poor call. They gave him progress, and that's what we were arguing. How can you give him progress and then not call it a fumble because he loses the ball? Well, they said they blew the whistle, but like I said, that's something that we certainly didn't get any breaks. I'm sure they all even out. We won some ball games, getting some breaks that went our way, but that was a big ball game right there that they almost took away from us.
A couple of the breaks that you did have, Tyler Morgan comes up with a big interception in the end zone, and then later on, Corey Williamson gets another one for the Chiefs.
I tell you what, those were 2 big plays. We had been playing defense extremely well, all the entire football game. We had not allowed the big play to hurt us like they had hurt some other people on the running back. Well, we did a great job on him. He had such great speed, and all those other films, he would break the long runs. But we were flying to him and had hats on him all day long and really doing a good job on him. And, the quarterback, didn't have a real strong arm. But that win was probably the worst amount, the worst factor in the amount of the offense that we've played in several years.
Coach, one of the things that appeared like in the press box was you could not depend on the wind blowing one certain direction. It looked like it was a swirling wind that maybe came across the field, blowing across the field sometimes, then blowing right in your face another time.
Yeah, but the thing about it is when it was coming out of the west, and it was kind of this, and it was just a little bit out of the southwest. And so it came in the south end and blew up to kind of a tunnel and blew up to north end a little bit, and that's where the wind was. That's how he was able to kick that 65-yard field goal, because he did have that at his back.
I believe I heard over the PA that was a state record.
I think
was that all classes?
I think so, yeah, because there was a kid from Putnam City that kicked a 63-yarder with a free kick at the same, again with a free kick. I don't know, in the 80s or somewhere in there in the early 90s, but. Yeah, I think he set a record.
But he could have made that from
for
another
70.
Yeah, 70 or maybe even 75.
I've said I looked at Coach Pearson and I said, the way things are going for us, he's going to make this. And Coach Pearson, he can't make that. And I just watched it go right on through.
Well, I noticed you had put Reggie Knighton back there, probably one of your best jumpers.
Exactly.
And Reggie kind of looked like he was about ready to jump, and he saw the ball. It was 15 feet over his head.
He had been Superman to get that one.
So the Chieftains come down to the situation where, with 3:11 left on the clock, you force a punt. You get field position. Well, I guess it's actually 2:43 left on the clock when you force the punt, and you get great field position. Talk about the punt return.
Well, I think we were just, I'm talking about one hand away from scoring on the punt return. We had it set up real nice, and the kid, number 8, who's a good athlete, comes diving in there and catches him by his heel, and we did set up, inside about the 30-something, 33-yard line. So, the punt return gave us a lot of momentum.
On the punt return, Coach, it looked like Thomas Friday was on ahead of Reggie, and the only guy that was left was the punter himself.
There wasn't anyone left. And we had it set up nice and did a good job of getting it there, and Reggie did a good job getting to the boundary. It was just half a step, and he's in the end zone. But if we scored there early, it'd give him a little more time. So we wanted to get some time off the clock.
You did great clock management. Yeah. 2 minutes, 32 seconds left. You moved 9 plays to cover the 33 yards. Talk about that drive, Coach. You had a 3-yard gain for Chauncey, then David keeps for 7 yards and picks up the first down at the 22. You get another first down when Chauncey goes on the delay down to the 11. There's 59 seconds left. Kind of describe what happens from there. We try a pass play to Hauser that just barely missed.
Barely missed. We knew going in the ball game that their secondary, we felt like we could throw the ball on them, but again, we just never had the opportunity, with the win-wise, other than the first quarter, which everything went wrong with us there. But on that drive right there, we had 2 timeouts left, so we felt good about where we were time-wise, and we get a couple big pass plays. When you get in that situation, the key is to move the chain. Not to try to get the thing, 30-something yards in 30 seconds. We got to move the chain, get about 2 or 3 first downs, and then have the opportunity to throw in the end zone 2 or 3 times. And Sean, he runs our 2-minute, and he did that, and we got inside that, and he took our passing game and did some nice things with that. And got us in the end zone. Hauser made some big catches, and then of course David tucked it up and ran once and got a first down, and we get a face mask on it, I believe.
Okay, now on the last drive, Coach, you're down at the 8-yard line. It's 3rd down and 7 for a first down. 3rd down and goal, basically for a touchdown, 8 yards, and David kind of gets sacked on the play about the 10-yard line. We get the face mask, and there's like 19 seconds left on the game clock. They move the ball up to the 5-yard line, and then the clock starts. Chieftains are still in the huddle.
Yes, we
and they come to the line of scrimmage
very slowly
with about 10 seconds left. I know you're going to have some comments about that, but you guys are trying to call timeout.
Yes.
furiously trying to call timeout when the ball gets snapped.
Yes, because we didn't think he was going to get it off, and he said he looked at the clock and knew exactly what was happening, but it didn't. That didn't.
Well, let me put it this way: if he really did know what was happening, he's as cool as they come.
I don't know, but if he had snapped that on a different count, we would have never got to play off. Because he knows to snap everything on the first count when we're in that situation, but. He said, well, Coach, there was 2 seconds left when he caught it. What are you worried about? And I said, just never mind, Dave.
Let's describe the pass play. Knighton goes back, and he finds Chase Yott. I think that was Chase's first catch of the game.
Yeah, first catch, and we got in a little different. Well, we've been in that set a couple of times running-wise. We had not thrown out of that set, and we felt like that little quick out, he could pop open a little quick out, and David did a good job finding him, and that was a pressure catch, and Chase did a nice job catching the football, I felt real good. The time worried me, but after we got down there, their heads were down. Deer Creek, and they wasn't coming off the ball, and
they were a little confused
They were confused, and fortunately we made it happen.
Well, let me ask you the what if question.
Okay.
What if Chase drops that ball? It's 10-7. Do you kick the field goal, or do you try to score a touchdown?
We'd probably kick the field goal. We had people ready to go on that. We had a timeout left. Okay, that's why I felt good about in the 19 seconds.
We've got plenty of time.
If he gets sacked, now we still got time to call timeout. If he gets sacked, the game's over. But sometimes things turn out and better than you thought they would. Like I said, if we'd got a timeout, we'd been in a mess. We might not even score.
So for once, the Chieftain coaches not getting their way paid off.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this exciting film. It might look a little dull to you at the beginning of the game because it's a defensive struggle, but it gets great. The Chieftains win the toss and elect to defer. Tell us a little bit about that strategy.
Well, we wanted to play defense first, and again, we in a pregame, the kicking part of it, you can kick the ball a lot better, going from south to the north. It was kind of again like it was a swirling wind, but when you had it from the south, you had some of it at your back, and they didn't throw the ball as well as we did, so we felt like we could play field position and make some things happen.
Ernie having a little trouble with the battery on that reminded me. I got to say thank you to Lisa Shopes. She goes and bails us out yesterday. She goes and buys us a battery for our Cellcast machine, or we wouldn't have been on the air yesterday. So we appreciate Lisa very much.
They do a great job of. They take care of our football players through the Booster Club too. There's some great people.
Well, I don't want to go that far about Steve.
Lisa's
a great gal.
I would stand up for both of them.
The Chieftains taking the field. Pretty good crowd coming up from Seminole.
Good crowd, considering that I know we have a lot of OU fans that went to the ball game.
Should have had him back there.
Yeah, we had a chance to
16-yard line
inside the 20-yard line, and we don't do it.
Deer Creek jumps off sides from their 33. They're moved back to the 28, and this is the guy you were talking about with the speed.
Nice speed. He just beats us to the corner right there. One time that he does, or I think there's one other time he beats us to the corner.
Second down and about 8 to go, and they pick up 2 here.
Yeah, I thought that when you look back at the defensive efforts that we've had over the several years, this is one of the finest we've had.
Luke Walker, the intended receiver on this one. Corey Williamson with good coverage.
Yeah, nice coverage here. They break contain a little bit, but Corey does a nice job, and
Luke Walker actually kept Williamson from intercepting that one.
Luke was a pretty good player.
Yeah. He's the guy that kicked the field goal.
That field goal, too.
And Walker on the punt. Not a great punt, but he gets a super roll.
Yeah, it's the bad thing about it is when you play on that turf that, if you don't field it, and with that wind, it's difficult to field. 23-yard
line. Chiefs get a big play, and then they lose the football.
Yeah, we get, David does a nice job of scrambling, and, he's got the ball tucked in. He just kind of loses it right there.
So Knighton gains about 10, then fumbles it forward for about 5 more. Deer Creek starts at their own 38. They try to go to the end zone here on first down.
So we lost about 30 or 40 yards in field position on that turnover.
Ball overthrown. Second down and 10. I was worried we might get an interference call.
Too, but
Fullback Reichenberger picks up 2 yards. Third down and about 8, and Reggie's going to make a nice play on this one as they
play on his part. Reggie's
try to get Price.
Yeah, nice play.
So it brings up 4th down.
Oh, Reggie had a really good football game.
This punt's going to hit at about the 13-yard line, and fortunately for us, it rolls into the end zone.
You kind of wonder when it's going to kick out of bounds, and it just stays right there.
Thought it was going to stop right there. All the way back to the end zone. Chieftains get it out to the 20. Then we have a little trouble, 2 plays in a row, hanging on to the snap.
I have no idea. We were pulling out a little quick or something. I don't know. And we had the chance to give them 2 turnovers right there.
So we lose about a half a yard, maybe a yard. 2nd down 11. We're going to do it again.
And we fumble the snap again. And that's you just can't do that.
3rd down and about 10, and Chauncey will get his first chance at touching the football. He'll pick up about 6.
Yeah, we just try to run the pop play in there. We got a good play. If we get Will linebacker, really caused us some problems.
Linebackers ran really well.
They ran
Deer
really
Creek.
well.
They did last year as well.
Yes, their middle backer was a good player, and we made an all-stater out of him.
All the way down to the 43-yard line on the punt. So Deer Creek gaining some field position there. 7:12 to go. Blake Johnson with a nice play here on the quarterback.
I thought Blake really played one of his better football games. Really nice job. And I thought he's very seldom out of position. He does everything right, and that's what makes him a good football player.
Josh Yerby's going to tackle Gray for a 2-yard loss here.
I thought Josh again had last week and this week is really coming into his own to being an excellent football player.
Price is going to get about 12, but it's 3rd down and 15.
Yeah,
here.
We do a good job of letting him, not to allow him to catch it and still not get the 1st down.
So punting situation. Chiefs are going to get backed up into about the 10-yard line on this punt.
They were definitely losing the field position battle.
I thought a couple of those Reggie could have gone over
and
fielded, but he might have been a little bit uncomfortable.
If we told him he has to get a good hop.
Chauncey?
Here we go. Gosh dog it, we should,
Chauncey's going to get caught from behind by Price.
Those two kids right there, 8 and 25, really run well.
All the way down to the 34-yard line, 1st and 10, first down of the game.
So we're in good position right here.
Cravens comes back with 6 yards on 1st down.
To make some things happen.
2nd down and about 4. Chauncey will get stuffed at the line of scrimmage on this play, and I think this one just barely missed making a good play.
Yeah, this one, I
think it was one of their linebackers.
Oh, and we get the play called in wrong. That's what I was upset about right there.
I don't know if you saw, but if Chauncey gets through that first wave, there's nobody left.
But we end up not getting the right play called in.
3rd down. Now we're up to 4th down. David keeps it, picks up the 1st down, plus gets a face mask, 5-yard variety.
So now we're inside the 20, putting ourselves in position to make some points here, and then we get a bad 1st down play.
Chauncey will lose about 3 there, and now it's 2nd down and 13.
So now they put us in a different.
Try to find Chase Yott.
Yeah, we got a nice play called right.
Braden's wide open.
I didn't realize how wide open he was until
looked like
he watched the film.
Looked like we were going to come up with 6 on that one. Now we come back to Williamson.
Yeah, we just throw the ball a little high.
A little high and behind. 4th down, and I think we throw an Oski here.
This is the one, we're trying to come underneath. You see it's wide open right there.
Just sailed on him a little bit.
All we got to do is get the ball down.
Tidwell returns the interception all the way out to the 30-yard line. Deer Creek starts with 1:23 to go. Gray will be the ball carrier. He'll pick up 1 yard.
I thought our interior people really played well. Jeb Rollins had right around 20 tackles. Obviously one of his better ball games also. He's finally getting back a little healthy.
Gray again. Jeb Rollins getting a hat there. Got some help from his friends. That's the end of the 1st quarter. 3rd down and about 8. They pick up 6 with Gray here.
I run a little pop in there, and that's one time we didn't get over the top and field very quick.
So it forces another punt, and Reggie's going to get a nice return on this one. As he runs up and fields it, keeps it.
Yeah, we get a good bounce.
And that only looks like about 5 yards, Coach, but if he lets it bounce past him...
probably saved us about 15 yards.
So the Chiefs start at the 33-yard line. Chauncey picks up 2. Thought we were one step away on several plays.
Several times. Like I said, their linebackers ran well enough to get an arm out there where a lot of people had not been doing that on us. Here it looks like a good play, and we just
31.
We just don't get it quite blocked like we wanted to.
Chiefs are going to use a timeout here because it looks like there's some confusion.
Yeah, we had the wrong personnel in there.
So it's now 3rd down, about 4, and Chauncey will pick up about 2.
Yeah, trying to run a little draw trap, and
guess he stepped out of bounds because it looked like he got real close to the marker, but ended up about 2 yards short. And I thought they were offsides on that punt. I didn't see it then. Did you?
No, I wasn't paying much attention there.
So Deer Creek gets the ball at the 34-yard line, 9:54 to go, and they still haven't picked up a first down.
Well, like I said, we're doing a good job up front. All the films we had, no one had held 24 there to what we had done. There was ended up being a lateral.
So that's a loss of 7 yards. Brings up 3rd down, 17. They're going to try to go to Gray coming out of the backfield, number 24. You see go in motion.
I guess the one.
I think he's open on this one.
Yeah, well, this is one we got him covered, and then the wind takes it over Reggie's head. Reggie looks like he's going to intercept it, and the wind takes it over his head, and the kid doesn't anticipate that either, but hits him right in the hands.
Punt goes away. Chieftains get it about the 35-yard line. 8:13 to go before halftime. Still no score. Still no first downs for Deer Creek. Seminole has 2, and they pick up 1 yard on first down.
Trying to run a little pop in there, and wasn't much pop to it.
On this play, Patton, the defensive end, makes a great play on Knighton on the reverse.
We don't block him, and that's one reason that we've got that set up where we can pop it. And
so we lose 4 yards. It's now 3rd down, about 13. We complete the pass, but it'll come up a little shy of the first down.
Yeah, do it. Well, this one
and then we fumble. That's right.
This is the one we fumble. Ricky gets
trying
the ball
to fight
popped
for yards.
Out, and, there's another turnover. It's giving them field position.
So Deer Creek starts at the Chieftain 42. That's the second time we've given it to them in Chieftain territory. 6:43 to go before half. Gray
do a nice job.
Picks up 1 yard.
Everything turned back in.
On this one, they're going to go to Clint Coe coming out of the backfield. He'll pick up about 4 yards. No, he was lined up as a wideout.
Right out.
And then Corey Williamson will come up with an interception on this play, but we get called for interference.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. We get some good pressure on him, and I don't know, somewhere in there we bumped him, I guess.
So Corey with a nice return, but it's all for naught. 15 yards back the other way. 22-yard line. Deer Creek has their first down, but Corey Williamson's going to make another big defensive play in the end zone.
Big Corey. He's been led us the last 2 years in interceptions.
Corey had great position on that play, Coach.
Yeah. Does a good job trying to figure out what he wants to do. Now later, when we end that intercepted ball in there, I think if we'd run up the boundary, we might have ran 110 yards.
5:01 to go before halftime.
Like I say, we're just not getting much movement. We didn't play real well up front.
2nd and 9. Chauncey will pick up 6 here.
Yeah, we faked the sweep and come back with a draw. And gosh, almost popped that for a big gain.
3rd down and 3. Cravens will pick up 2.
Yeah, well, here's the tallest sweep I thought we really had if we'd just got to the boundary.
So we came up a yard shy there.
Odd short, too.
Good.
Yeah, this is against the wind. Now, that's about as good as you could get right there. One other time we kick into it and get about a 15-yard punt, I think.
Deer Creek starts at the 37. 3:04 to go before halftime.
Nice bounce out. Do a good job. Gray
held to 1 yard there. 2nd down and 9. They go back to Gray for 2 yards.
I think they tried to audible on us a little bit on this option. Do a good job of containing, getting some people over the top.
3rd down and 7. Incomplete pass coming up here.
Pressure on him. It's another one. See where the ball just kind of takes off. It's always hard to just kind of lay in over somebody. It was, you'd had to be almost on the line.
Punt rolling away from Knighton, goes dead at the 15-yard line. 1:23 to go. Coach, I felt like you were trying to run the clock here, and at the end of this 3 plays, we kind of didn't manage the clock
very well. Didn't do
well.
very well right there. We play clock and the score clock were not in sync, and we should have snapped the ball with a little bit more, with a little less time on the clock.
So it's now 3rd down and about a yard.
But we should get. I mean, we go the wrong way on a quarterback sneak,
and we only get about 3/4 of a yard.
Yeah.
So we're forced to punt. Deer Creek had called their timeout to stop the clock. There was 7 seconds left when we punted the football, and they make a fair catch right there.
Rule says you have to catch it, and if it hits the ground, then you can't have that. So you have to fair catch, and the kid makes a good, catch there.
You're right,
and
Coach.
Hits it.
70 yards.
70 yards. I mean, he hammered it good.
So Luke Walker gets the state record for a field goal, 65 yards, and the Chieftains go to the halftime locker room after really outplaying Deer Creek defensively and offensively. You move the ball a little more than they had in the first half, but yet you find yourself behind 3-0.
Yeah, it's hard to go in and explain to the kids why you haven't gotten in the end zone yet, and they're up there 3, and we just played so well defensively, and again we were really disappointed offensively how we had played, and then after we watched the film when we got back, we were really discouraged by the way we blocked up front and did some things there. We just did not do a good job, and in the course of a ball game, it's hard to figure that out sometimes exactly what's happening on every snap. But they had given us a little different scheme, and we just didn't play very smart football on the offensive side of the ball.
And Coach, I know you know this, and probably your kids know it as well, and we'll talk more about it after the film, but the team they're getting ready to play plays a lot better defense than this team does.
They're the number 1 defense in the state of Oklahoma. There's no doubt about it. They've got a major college linebacker. They run well. They're coached extremely well, and a very aggressive football team that they've had 6 shutouts during the year, and that really I think says a lot for their coaches and their kids, and it'll be another struggle for us. And they've got an excellent field goal kicker too, which presents us some problems.
So we look at the halftime score of 3-0. Chiefs know they're going to get the football, and Coach, you come out and start the second half. You pick up 4 first downs, get all the way inside the Deer Creek 32-yard line, and then disaster.
Bogged down again. We made some adjustments at halftime on a couple of schemes that we felt like we could do, and they just we get some good things going, get the momentum our way, everything.
Of course, Deer Creek will kick off, and I believe this kick goes into the end zone, or maybe even out of the back of the end zone. So Chieftains start at the 20-yard line. David Knighton looking to throw the football, comes up with about a 15-yard gain here.
Yeah, David does a good job. We're running a little play action, and we're trying to do a good job on our scramble drill. Good job there. Braden Blackburn doing a nice job right there.
So the Chieftains get a big first down, start the second half, 35-yard line. Tony Bruner with an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, so here we come back and get a little different scheme on our blocking scheme. Do a nice job right there.
2nd down and 2. Think maybe they're keying on Craven, so you try Bruner again.
Yeah, we try to come back to him a couple times. Right there, we don't get the linebacker.
Middle backer again. 3rd down and about 1. Knighton keeps. Ends up picking up almost 2 yards. First down at the 46-yard line.
So we've got some good things happening right there on the move. There we don't get an end down, and really kind of overpowered us right there.
2nd down and 12. Knighton's going to go by the route of the quarterback scramble.
88 was a big old physical kid that really gave us some problems.
David picks up 14, has a first down at the Deer Creek 43-yard line. Chauncey Cravens will rattle off about 11 here.
Yeah, here we come. We'll pop the little draw and finally pop it in there and get something going.
31 was a pretty good football player.
Yeah, he was.
And Chauncey got away from him on that play. 1 yard gained here for Bruner.
Try to come back and run the cross trap.
That was close to being a good play.
Yep. 2nd
down and 9. Knighton's going to be forced to keep and pick up no yardage.
Here we trying to come up with a little bootleg action.
Thought if he goes back to the outside
around,
here,
yeah.
we have a big play. There wasn't anybody else left at home. Second or third down and about 9. David's going to fumble this one. Braden Blackburn recovers it.
They get an all-out rush, and we don't pick up the outside stunt.
So we end up losing 10 yards, and then the punt goes about 18 yards.
This is the one I was talking about. I mean, he hits the ball well. It just gets a lot of height on it, and
the wind just pushes it
blows it back.
So Deer Creek takes over at their own 23-yard line. And Coach, this is their most impressive possession of the game.
Yeah, this one kind of worried me. I mean, they're getting ready to take it in and go 10 up, and because we'd really stopped them up to this point, but we let them get a little momentum right here.
Gray picks up 2. Now he's going to pick up 6, and then fumble the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, he just dropped that ball.
Yep, sure did.
I think, is this the play to the tight end here?
No.
Okay.
No, it's about 3 plays.
All right.
4 yards gained here by Gray, picks up the first down.
Yeah, we let him knock us off the football right there.
35-yard line, 1st and 10. Henley will stop Gray for no gain, get some help from his friends here on this one.
Yeah.
Fought off the block, then got Winrow over there to help out.
Do a nice job right
and
there.
here's the pass to the tight end.
Yeah,
first time they attempted it.
I don't even know how he ended up catching the ball. We got some people right on top of him.
We have him double covered.
Yeah, well, we just get on the back side of him.
So the tight end picks up about 12 all the way down to the 47. Then Gray busts one here for 28. I thought they had moved.
Yeah, I said, we stopped. I thought they'd moved too. But I guess the center had snapped the ball, and that's what I thought there was a penalty on the play.
And there was. At the end of the play, we got a face mask. So all the way down to the 20-yard line. Gray bounces it outside, picks up about 3. Corey Williamson.
Nice job on Corey's part. Really nice job.
Hanneman, the quarterback, will keep for about 3 on the option.
Here we let him get turned up, but we do close. Pretty nice on that one.
3rd down and about 4 to go, and we're guilty of encroachment.
Yeah, we just it was close, but we moved and shouldn't have been moving.
1st down at the 9-yard line.
I thought this may have been a big play in the ball or series right here on this series inside the 9.
1 yard gain on 1st down. 2nd down and goal from the 8. Gray will pick up about 4. Thomas Friday's going to make a big play here on 3rd and 4 from the 3rd and goal from the 4.
This big play right
Incomplete pass. You see Thomas just stayed with his man.
Thomas did a nice job right
Thought
there.
he might have come up with the interception.
I can't remember what
there was an unsportsmanlike penalty.
All right.
And I never did hear. Blake was
the one that supposedly said something.
And I said on the air, I can't imagine Blake because he's so quiet. But Tyler Morgan makes the big interception.
That's the one we might have looked at running around out of the end zone.
Chieftains at their own 20. Chauncey goes 2 yards on 1st down. There's a minute 24 left in the 3rd quarter, Coach, and this is only your 2nd possession.
Yeah, is this the play where we hit the ground right there. The kid was on the ground. He was sitting down when he stripped the ball.
So takeaway, touchdown. Price goes 22 yards. The kick from Walker makes it 10-0. And there's 27 seconds left here at the end of this kickoff.
Not a good 3rd quarter. A little momentum right there.
42-yard line. 27 seconds now. And Chauncey will pick up 7. This will be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Does a good job. That's a lot of that on his own.
Bruner will pick up 1.
And get the backside linebacker again. Really gave us some problems.
3rd down and about 2. Cravens will pick up 3.
I think we run the option right here, yeah. Did a good block by Hauser. Chauncey does a good job on his own to get that extra yard.
Looked like he wasn't going to make it there, and he just got it. 46-yard line. Is this interference, Coach, on Ricky Ward?
I thought it was. Looks like they get on top of us right there. Because they didn't call that one down there when we had it.
2nd down and 10. Hauser will get his first catch of the day.
Yeah, we do a good job of just finding the open guy. Do a good job right there.
Fell forward for the 1st down at the 36-yard line. Chauncey will get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, and then they are guilty of a personal foul.
Yeah, right here. Watch 88. He just we tackle him.
The whistle's blowing there.
Now he's dragging him.
So instead of the 5-yard loss, we get a 15-yard penalty down to the 21, and David will get sacked for a 9-yard loss.
Yeah, that's when you got to understand. See, we got time to throw the ball, and we've got to throw that football. We can't afford a sack when you're down on the 20-yard line.
Second down, 19. Hauser will pick up about 10 of it back here.
Yeah, he's going to try to chip away at it. Do a good job coming back to him. We got a route over top of that.
Third down, about 9 to go. David will keep for about 2.
Again, I think this one, trying to run a little bootleg off of it. So we got Braden open right there. We just didn't get a very good job on the defensive end.
So the Chieftains faced with a 4th down. It needs 7, and David's going to make a big play here, and so is Corey Williamson.
Yeah, nice job right here. We get in there.
Corey comes over to the boundary.
David keeps the ball alive.
Good job of keeping his feet in. Chiefs have a first down at the 9,
so
but then we're going to turn the ball over.
I don't know. Last 2 or 3 ball games, we've had several turnovers.
So it looked like the Chiefs were about to make it 10-7. Instead, Deer Creek has the ball. There's 7 minutes and 58 seconds left in the game. We're still down 10-0.
Doesn't look good.
Deer Creek starts it from the 10. Gray picks up 6 on first down. These next 2 plays, the defense really comes up.
We knew we had some timeouts left, so I think we even used one in here.
You used one before the punt.
Yeah.
We thought we might get a takeaway after the ball was down on the ground, but we didn't. Third down, about 3. Blake Johnson's going to make a big play on Gray here.
I think that this was a big play right here.
He's going to stuff it at the line of scrimmage.
They get it outside. Blake does a good job, and
was that Winrow?
I think Bryce was in on that too. Really made a nice play.
You did call time out there. Used your first time out of the second half.
We have to have two touchdowns to win.
2 scores to tie at least.
Oh, we lose the ball right there. Fortunately, get it back.
45-yard line, 6:08 to go. Hauser's going to make a big catch here. A little confusion on the lineup there, Coach.
Yeah, we had 4 wides in, and we just called it to the wrong side. Nice job on Jared's part.
Thought Hauser got out of bounds, but they kept the clock running there. 6 yards gain. Now they're going to find Hauser again for a big play.
This is a big play right here. This is the one we've been wanting all day, that little post route in there on a single receiver side. And Jared makes a nice play right there.
First really and goal from the 4. Hauser's been the hot hand. Let's go back to him again.
Go to him again. Nice. Defensive back was playing off of him.
4-yard touchdown pass. Jorge Vega got the important extra point, and the Chiefs have pulled within 3, 10-7. Now you see we're kicking off from the Deer Creek 45. There was a personal foul on Deer Creek on the extra point. So that made your decision real easy. You're going to kick the ball into the end zone.
We can't afford if you try to onside, I still give it to him on the 35. So, we just went ahead and kicked it in the end zone.
It keeps the clock from moving because it's 5:16 when you score. It's 5:16 when Deer Creek starts. Gray's going to pick up 6 yards here, but he does go out of bounds.
Yeah, they helped us quite a bit on out of bounds play, and then I think they have an incomplete pass.
2 of them. 5:09 to go.
I was hoping, in films, they sure were not afraid to throw the football. And I was hoping we'd just cut in front of one and pick it off.
3 yards gained. It's now 3rd down and 1. And this is the play where the quarterback gets stopped, then reaches the ball forward, has it swatted away. Chieftains come up with it, and they give him the first down.
Yeah, you see him right
there at the end of the play. Tyler Morgan, I think, or Thomas Friday, one of them came up with the ball. So they spot him at the 30, give him the first down. Rollins going to make a big play on Gray here.
So now we can't afford to give another, we can't have another first down here.
Got a little help from Blake Johnson. They're going to throw a pass here. This one shocked me when they threw the ball. It's going to stop the clock with 3:19.
Yeah,
as Luke Roberts can't come up with the catch.
They're trying to throw a slant in there, and we're doing, a good job covering it.
So now they get a 15-yard completion here, Coach, but they're guilty of movement
the guy,
at the top of the screen.
Right.
So this one comes back. So it's now
that was a big play right there.
Going back to the 25-yard line, 3rd and 16, 3:11 to go, and instead of running the football, they throw an incomplete pass
and stop the clock for us.
And you get to not have to use your timeouts.
So they did help us there, but it's a long ways. They try to get a little screen and go, and we got pretty nice coverage on that.
So it's incomplete. There's 2:43 left. Deer Creek going to punt the football, and Reggie almost takes this one to the house.
You see, we get a wall set up over the boundary. It gets a great bounce. And you see right there, there's not anybody going to make the play.
So the Chieftains still start in great field position. 2:30 to go. 2 timeouts left, and you decide to run the football.
Yeah, we knew they was going to be playing the pass. We was trying to pop a draw for about 10 or 15.
Call a timeout. There's 1:58 left. David Knighton's going to keep here for about 7. That's what we needed for the first down.
Here we got a little pressure right there. David does a good job of getting out.
Down to the 22, 1:47 to go. Clock stopped momentarily.
I say we got them a little confused in the secondary.
Cravens picks up 6. Now we're going to try a pass to Reggie Knighton.
Tries to stick that one in there, and there's just a little too much coverage in there.
1:06 left to go. 3rd down and about 4. Chauncey will pick up 5. Big play.
Big play right here. And he makes a big play out of it because they've got it stopped. And see how he gets that extra couple of yards.
All the way down to the 11-yard line. Clock stops with 59 seconds momentarily to reset the chains. Now we're going to try to find Hauser.
Yeah, we don't get the right route in there either. I mean, he doesn't run we're trying to run a stop route right there on the pylon, and he goes a little too deep.
39 seconds left. Knighton's going to have to keep on this one.
Yeah, this is one that
David does get out of bounds.
Yep.
It's now 3rd down, 7 for a first down, and 8 for a touchdown. David's going to get sacked and face mask.
Reach around and get the face mask.
So the clock stops while they're resetting the ball. We get it at the 5-yard line. Now it's moving. We're down to under 10 seconds when the ball gets snapped, Coach.
So you get a good out route and a lot of pressure with that catch and throw.
And this is a big kick as well. You didn't want to allow them another free kick opportunity.
Right.
That scoreboard wasn't right. It was 14-10, not 13-10. 2 seconds left in the game. And, of course, we try the kind of a squib kick, and the guy does just exactly what we needed.
Yeah, just exactly. We sure can't afford a run back, and we want to get 2 seconds off the clock. And
he picks it up, runs, and then says, oh, maybe I should have gone down.
And ball game's over. Chiefs win.
Big win.
Big win.
We'll be right back. Coach, let's talk a little bit about the playoff setup, where we go from here. Chieftains, of course, that's who everybody's mainly interested in. We're going to play the Tuttle Tigers, and we're going to play where?
Back at Stillwater. We play at 1 o'clock Saturday at Stillwater OSU, and we hadn't had a whole lot of luck here. We're going to change that this time, hopefully. But it's a 1 o'clock game. Last 2 times we played up there have been night games, so that'll be a little different.
Okay, let's talk about some of the other classes. In Class 6A, Jinx beats Edmond Santa Fe 38-21. Putnam North, they continue their undefeated season. They beat Tulsa Union 48-28. So it's going to be Putnam North against Jinx.
Jinx making their 6th straight championship football game. Won the last 5. I think that Putnam North is probably the football team that probably can challenge them because they're so good offensively. Their quarterback is thrown for like 3,000 yards. They've got some big-time receivers. They play good defense, and if you put 48 points on the board against Tulsa Union, you've got something going for yourself, and they did that. So I think that'll be an exciting ball game.
And let's see, that game will be played Friday night?
Friday night at 7:30 at Stillwater.
So that'll be a Stillwater contest as well. In 5A, Altus, kind of a surprise over McAllister, 36-25. And no surprise here, Carl Albert back in again, 38-6.
Yeah, and here's the thing, there's 2 football teams, and we talk about having too many teams in the playoffs, which a lot of people say we water that down. But here's a third-place team, Altus, and a third-place team, Carl Albert, that is playing for the state championships. Carl might have finished second, but I think they finished third.
I think they were third.
I think they were.
They were
too.
on the road first round.
So there's two good football programs that had the opportunity to get in the playoffs and really play well and beat some very good. McAllister was undefeated. Altus beat them, and then of course Tulsa Washington is the team that beat Ada. And then someone, Bixby, who had lost only one football game, and that was to James. So that's a good matchup. That's at OU Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock.
So same time we'll be playing.
Right.
Okay, in Class 4A, a school we're kind of familiar with, Oologah, got taken out by the Red Tornadoes.
Yeah, 40-6, 40-7, and here's their best run. Clinton's best running back last year was a freshman. Well, he's seasoned now. He's a sophomore. He just ran for 100-something yards and four touchdowns, and they just have such a quality program there and outstanding athletes. And Salso, this is a rematch, like you said, but Salso, Clinton handled Sallisaw rather easily last year. Yeah.
Sallisaw winner over John Marshall, 18-10. So that kind of gives you an indication that it may be a repeat of last year as well.
And here's the thing about Sallisaw, visiting with him before the season started, that he's got all young kids, so they were kind of, I'm sure they're happy to be back where they are.
And in Class 3A, again, we mentioned the Tuttle Tigers will be the Chieftains' opponent. They just destroyed Sequoia Claremont.
Yeah,
I want to make sure and say it right.
You go. They're such a good football team, and talking about them a little bit, I have so much respect for their coach Philip Kuntz, who does an outstanding job, and and we're very familiar. We go to the Tulsa football camp every year. Well, and for the past 4 years, they've always been in the session that we were there, so we've had some good matchups at the football camp, and a lot of our kids have made friends with their kids, at camp, and
any enemies?
Yeah, probably. Somehow we have a way to make enemies when we don't even need to be, but we do that sometimes. But I really have a great deal of respect for them and their kids. They do a good job there, and like you said, probably the best defensive football team in the state. All-state linebacker, being recruited by a lot of Division I people. Lance Dooley, who is number 48, who also right now they're playing the fullback some out of the power I and stuff, and allowing him to get in front and block, and he does a good job there. A quarterback that throws the ball, left-handed kid that really throws a nice ball, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. But I think the two best football teams are there. They've been ranked up there 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 all year long. We've basically been ranked 1 most of the year. They're 11-1, and we talked a couple of weeks ago how that they basically did not want to win that district, so they felt like the easier road to the state championship game was on the other side of the bracket, and he looks good now by doing it that way.
Let's look at that scenario a little bit. This is the team that lost to Deer Creek in that last week of the season, made Deer Creek the district champs. Deer Creek hadn't done anything against them in that game, and then they pull all their starters basically in the second half. But they weren't running away with that football game. They were just dominating it.
Yes, and that's they. Offensively, they're not a flashy football team. The tailback runs well. Their offensive linemen are not the big, huge offensive linemen.
They're not even as big as Deer Creek is.
And but the thing about them is they come off the ball so much better than the Deer Creek kids, and really get after you on the offensive line. And like I say, they'll have a great scheme against us, and we just got to figure it out.
Well, Coach. We may concede that they're the number 1 defense in the state, but the Seminole Chieftain defense probably the number 2 if they're number 1.
I tell you what, our kids right now are playing about as well defensively than we've played in a long time, and I have a great deal of respect for our kids, on both sides of football. Defensively, we're playing a lot more aggressive than we've had, and we're going to the football and making some things happen, and getting some good support in the back end with our secondary people, so that you can do everything you want to up front. If you don't have those people back there in the back helping you and doing some things back there, then you're in trouble. And Corey Williamson and Reggie are 2 starters back from last year's football team, and then that other corner we're alternating with Roy Street and Michael Little, two juniors in there. So those 2 guys are going to be back with a lot of playing experience next year. So we're happy about that.
Coach, there's probably no way to describe the feelings that you feel when you walk out into a state championship game. how much help will it be with the fact that the Chieftains were there last year and now they're back?
I think it helped us in the fourth quarter the other day. Saturday against
Deer Creek.
Against Deer Creek. I've already forgot about this. And looking forward. I think we matured a lot from last year, and I think that showed in the fourth quarter. Now we've got to allow that maturity to take its form in a championship ball game and have those kids that were there last year lead us. And we had a bunch of young kids last year just in awe a little bit up there and just kind of looking around at the big stadium. But we've been there now, and we had a great crowd last year. I mean, really a great crowd. And hopefully, I was supposed to get cold this week at some point in time, but I think maybe it has a chance to warm back up a little bit over the weekend. We have the afternoon game, so. Again, hopefully we'll have a great crowd there, but we're excited about the opportunity. This is the first time, we didn't win it last year, but this is the first time that Seminole has ever gone back-to-back to be in the state championship ball game, so that's something to be proud of.
Okay, so the Chieftains will kick off at 1 o'clock. Any special plans for this week that we need to make people aware of?
Well, I don't know. We had I'm not sure yet. I haven't visited anyone. Maybe we've had a little bonfire, a little pep rally the last 3 weeks.
So you probably do
Friday prior to the ball game. So we had it out. Ernie's one down at Ben's Barbecue, and then Sonic for those 3 nights. So I haven't had the opportunity to talk with Mrs. Sharp and some of those people, but and that's something that I want to go make sure I go on record saying how much I appreciate. And I know this is not the last show. Hopefully we're here next week with a gold ball in front of us, but we've had so much support, and that's what makes a good program. And and you have people that come up and ask me all the time, and why are you successful? Why is it successful? Well, there's tons of reasons, but the support that we receive here is one of the major factors in our student body, and our faculty do such a great job with our student athletes, and it's just and the fans and our boosters do such a great job that I can't even begin to thank everyone on that. But it's been such a fun year, and we knew going into the year it was going to be a fun year. And whether we got the state championship game or not, we didn't know. But this group of kids have really made it a fun year.
Well, we didn't know until there was 2 seconds left in the game last week, or yesterday, or whenever it was. Okay, the Chieftains back in action again Saturday from Stillwater, from the OSU Cowboy Field. And no, I'm not bragging about my Sooners.
No, I told you'd rather go to the Chieftain game than OU game, but I didn't know that was going to happen.
It was a lot more exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back next Tuesday night. Want to invite you to tune in at 7:30 right here on Cox Cable.